So can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So today we are going to talk about the motto of Amrita University. So if you have seen the logo of Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham, there is one line written in Sanskrit language that is our motto. We are going to learn that line and we are going to know more about that line, which can describe the things about our university as such. So the motto goes like this: Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. Oh, so this is the line taken from Bhagavad Gita's fourth chapter. So if you happen to have a Bhagavad Gita textbook, so many of us have Bhagavad Gita at our homes, but we do not touch it anytime because we generally feel that Bhagavad Gita is to be read when we are in our 60s or 70s, we have no work left for us. So now we have to do some time pass. We will open the book like Bhagavad Gita and we will read it. That is the notion of so many people, right? But Bhagavad Gita is the text which is supposed to be read at the early stage of life. As far as possible, we have to start it at the tender age, at the early stage of our life. Okay, because it has so many concepts which can make us lead our life in a proper way as such. Okay, so in the future semesters you are going to have Bhagavad Gita as an elective. So at that time you will get a chance to learn Bhagavad Gita totally. So coming back to the point, our motto line is taken from Bhagavad Gita's fourth chapter, that is Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. So can anyone read this paragraph, motto of Amrita University? So many hands are there, raised hands. Let's ask Shailaja to read. Sai Shailaja.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Oh. Amma has chosen the divine words of Lord Krishna revealed to us through Bhagavad Gita as the motto for Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham. Shraddhavan labhate jnanam. Seekers endowed with Shraddha alone can obtain knowledge.
Hmm.
Shraddha is actions with attention, awareness, and alertness born out of loving trust. One who lives with Shraddha from moment to moment is Shraddhavan. Labhate is to gain, acquire, to profit. Jnanam is holistic knowledge, knowledge about all aspects of the knower, known, and the process of knowing. The ultimate meaning of Jnanam is God realization or self realization, having which everything is known. Arjuna, Dhruva, Nachiketa, Ekalavya, Satyakama, Jabala, Suka, Lava, and Kusa were the inspiring young students of our Indian epics who had manifested about absolute Shraddha while seeking knowledge from their gurus.
Okay. Thank you very much, Shailaja.
Thank
So
you,
when
ma'am. Thank
someone
you,
is
ma'am.
reading, yeah. So when someone is reading, all of us have to pay attention to the screen, or otherwise if you have the PDF with you, you can follow that also. Okay, so at a times we will have reading in the class. Okay, so coming to this point, Shraddha is what we think that Shraddha, we translate this word as faith. The direct translation of the word can be faith. But there are certain words in Sanskrit language which cannot be directly translated. So faith is not only the meaning of the word Shraddha. There are few other meanings too. Those are being told here. Shraddha is actions with attention. Whatever actions that you perform with the complete attention, that is known as Shraddha. For example, if you are doing something, like if you are cooking, but your attention is somewhere else, you are not in the present, then it is not called as Shraddha. You are not doing that work with Shraddha as such. You are reading some book, but your attention is somewhere else. You are attending the classes, but your mind is somewhere else. So that is not going to be considered as Shraddha. The actions that you perform, being in the present and with the complete attention, that is called as Shraddha. It is about awareness and alertness born out of loving trust. So here comes the word trust, faith. Whatever work you are doing, you should have trust in it. You should have inborn love towards it. If at all you are doing some activity without having trust or without having love towards that activity, you won't get a mind which is attentive towards that activity. This is the basic thing, right? If we do not like some activity as such, we are not going to pay complete attention to that activity. So first of all, you should have the trust, should have love towards the activity, which would give you awareness and alertness towards that activity as such. That is called as Shraddha. And the one who lives with Shraddha is called as Shraddhavan. Okay, so all of us, if we are doing all our daily activities with Shraddha, we are known as Shraddhavan. We are the Shraddhavan. Labhate is to gain or acquire. Okay, so the one who is Shraddhavan, he gains something, he acquires something. What does he acquire? That is being told here. Jnanam. He acquires jnanam. Jnanam is what? The holistic knowledge, the knowledge about all aspects. So we already talked about the education for life and livelihood, right? So the person who is always alert, who is always aware, has a sense of trust and faith in whatever activity he is doing, then he is definitely going to get the holistic knowledge about everything. He is going to gain the education which is needed for life too, and he is also going to get the education which is needed for his livelihood. Okay, so one should have that kind of trust and alertness while being in the process of knowing. So have you understood this concept? What is meant by Shraddhavan Labhate Jnanam? Hope you have understood.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So in this context, we will just go through the story of one of these young students of our Indian epics. So we were discussing in the last class about so many youngsters, right, from our ancient texts. So one of you had told me to narrate the story of Nachiketa. Let us understand the story of Nachiketa, wherein we will understand this concept of Shraddha. Okay, I'll just unshare my screen. So Nachiketa was a young student from the ancient texts. His story is being narrated in one of the Vedas. So you must be knowing about the four Vedas. What are the names of four Vedas? Come on.
Rigveda,
Rigveda,
Yajurveda,
Samaveda, Yajurveda, Atharvana Veda.
Atharvaveda.
Okay, very good. Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, and Atharva Veda. These are the four Vedas. Wherein the second Veda is Yajurveda, which has two parts, Krishna Yajurveda and Shukla Yajurveda. We will not go deeper into that thought, but in the Krishna Yajurveda, there comes a story of Nachiketa. Okay, and what happened with him? Nachiketa was an ideal son of his father, Rishi Vajashrava. His father's name was Sage Vajashrava, who performed a ritual, some sacrifice he wanted to perform. Okay, and the name of that sacrifice was Vishwajit. And Vajasrava was supposed to give away whatever he had, whatever possessions that he had. He was supposed to give away everything in that ritual. Okay, and then Nachiketa was observing what his father was doing. So the ritual was such that one has to give all his possessions and retire to an ashram. So Nachiketa was observing whatever his father was doing at that time. And he just asked his father, so I am also your belonging. I am your son. That means I am your belonging. So to whom you will give me away? That way he asked. Now, first his father was busy doing all those works, no? So he ignored the question. But then Nachiketa again and again asked, he was a young boy, you know, was of 6 to 7 years maybe. He asked again, to whom will you give me away in this ritual? So his father got angry suddenly and told the boy, I'll give you to the death. Okay, so in order to fulfill his father's words, Nachiketa went to the abode of Yama. Now, Yama is known for the knowledge, the ultimate knowledge. He is the deity of death also, and there is another name for Yama. Do you know what it is? So, Yudhishthira's father is known to be Yama, right? Is
Dharmaraj.
Dharma, very good, very good. Yes. So Yama's another name is Dharma also. He has the knowledge of Dharma. He has the knowledge of the duties. Dharma is what? The duties itself, right? Of all of us. So Yama is also called as Yama Dharma. Okay, so now Nachiketa has gone to the Yamaloka, that is the abode of Yama, and he waited for Yama without taking any food for so many days. Okay, and as penance, now Yama got happy with his tapas as such, and he offered to grant him 3 boons. So, dear child, whatever you want, I am happy with your tapas. You can ask me for any 3 boons, he asked. So, by the first boon, Nachiketa asked that his father should restore his mental peace and be happy to see his dear son back alive. So, he knew that now my father would be regretting for whatever he said, right? So, this was the far-sightedness of Nachiketa. So, he asked for his father's mental peace again. Then for the second boon, he asked for the knowledge of Agni-Chiti, the sacred fire. So, different sacred fires are being described in Vedas. Okay, so Yama granted these boons to Nachiketa. And the third boon is very important. Our point comes here. So when Yama asked Nachiketa to ask for the third boon, this boy, young boy, asked him to impart the knowledge of Supreme Self, Atma Vidya. He asked for the knowledge. Let us not go deeper into this Atma Vidya and what is meant by Supreme Self and all. Can you imagine a small boy of 7 to 8 years? Okay, he is asking for what? He is asking for knowledge. Can you just imagine if we were supposed to be at his part, as at his place, what would we have asked? Right? So, Yama describes the difficulty of acquiring the knowledge. He makes him understand that it is not very easy to gain the knowledge as such. And he tries to tempt Nachiketa with worldly pleasures. He asks Nachiketa to ask different things like the kettles or the horses or the gems or ruling over a very big kingdom or the full enjoyment of worldly pleasures as such. He asks Nachiketa to ask them, isn't it? He tries to divert him, but see the perseverance of this boy, the firmness of this boy. As he was the true lover of knowledge, he refused to accept any of this, saying that all these things are temporary, the transient things they are. So therefore Yama appreciated the boy's devotion and love for knowledge and felt proud to have a disciple like Nachiketa. So then Yama gave him the teaching of Atma Vidya, and this story is being narrated in the Krishna Yajurveda of the 4 Vedas as such. So with this, what can we learn from this story? So we were talking about the motto, right? Shraddhavan Labhate Jnanam. The most important thing about our India is that the name itself, the name of our country itself tells that we are the seekers of knowledge. Bharata. The name of our country is what? Bharata. Bha is what? Bha is light, and light depicts knowledge. The nation which is always engaged in gaining knowledge is called as Bharata. And the Bharatiyas or the citizens of this nation are always engaged in gaining the true knowledge. So that is the importance of knowledge in our country, which differentiates us from the rest of the world. Right? So, to gain the knowledge, what is required? We require a great sense of Shraddha, a great sense of attention, awareness, alertness. We should have love, we should have trust and faith in whatever activities that we are undertaking to gain the knowledge. Okay, now let us see what Adi Shankaracharya says about the word Shraddha. I'll again share my screen. Can someone read the next part? Siddhartha would like to read. Siddharth Srivastav.
Yes, ma'am.
Sure. What is Shraddha? From this part, you read.
Yes, ma'am. What is Shraddha? Adi Sankara defines Shraddha as astikya abuddhi, meaning intense interest towards the subject and positive mindset endowed with love and faith. Amma says, Shraddha entails both love and faith. When you have love and faith, alterness in all your actions will automatically follow. Life brings unexpected experiences. Unless we are alert and vigilant at every moment, we cannot overcome those experiences and face them boldly. And the individual situation in life is like that of a soldier in a battlefield. You can imagine how alert and watchful a soldier has to be in the midst of a battle. An attack could come from any direction. If he isn't extremely alert and constantly on the watch, he could be killed. In the same way, life can bring you any kind of experience at any given time. You need a great deal of Shraddha to be able to welcome those experiences and to stay unperturbed in all circumstances. This is what spirituality teaches us.
Very good. Thank you very much. So, as we were discussing about the spirituality, what differentiates us, being the Indians, from the rest of the world is the spirituality itself. Because the Adhyatma and spirituality uh, has its roots in our country itself. Yeah. So, people generally think that spirituality makes people renounce from the worldly pleasures, and they are not wanting to do anything in their life. They just run away from the actions, whoever those who are engaged in spirituality. These are the commotions or the misconceptions about the spirituality as such. But from this paragraph, you must have understood that spirituality is something which gives us the direction for life, which can give us both love and faith in life, the alertness in life, which can make us alert and vigilant at every moment, every step of our life as such. So, see, we are at the very early stage of our life, and there are certainly going to be so many experiences, they may be good or bad. We need the confidence to face all those experiences boldly. And the spirituality itself is going to give us the confidence, the power, the strength to overcome this obstacles or the setbacks in life very firmly as such. So a great example is given here. You can imagine how alert and watchful a soldier has to be in a battle. So the attacks could come from any direction, isn't it? So we need to be alert and constantly have the watch. So, in the same manner, in our lives also, the setbacks or the obstacles may come from any point of our life, from any direction. The alertness is therefore needed. Adi Shankaracharya defines Shraddha as Astikya Buddhi. It is not Abuddhi, it is Buddhi. So Astikya Buddhi means what? Having intense interest towards a subject and positive mindset endowed with love and faith. So Adi Shankaracharya, you must be aware of him. He advocated the greatness of Vedas and was the most famous philosopher. His philosophy is known as Advaita philosophy. Okay, non-dualism we call it as. So Adi Shankaracharya lived just for 32 years, but the work, the extensive work that he did in his life, just 32 years of his life, is beyond the measurement as such. Okay, so what we have understood from this is that without Shraddha, we cannot gain the proper knowledge. So now, being the students, we are on the path of gaining the knowledge, right? So Shraddha is not just about faith, it is about the intense interest towards our subject, the positive mindset to learn whatever we are being told to learn, and having the love and trust towards our subject, and being ready for all the obstacles which can come while gaining the knowledge as such. And there are so many inspirations for us, like we took examples of these youngsters like Arjuna, Dhruva, Nachiketa, Ekalavya, how they removed the obstacles from their lives, how they tackled the problems in their life. We took example of Rama also. The sudden change in or the turn of events in his life happened, but the way he tackled all those obstacles definitely will give us a lot of inspiration to lead the path of our life as such. So with this, we will stop here. We will wind up the class because we are supposed to join the program. So any doubts or anything that you want to say?
Ma'am, I have a doubt, ma'am.
Yes, Sudarshan.
Ma'am, in general, they say that there is a thin line between ego and self-respect, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So, isn't it the same with being religious and being spiritual?
I didn't get you. The same thing meaning, there is a slight difference between being religious and spiritual, right?
Yes, and it need not be the same, or you don't need to follow a religious path in order to be spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
Is it true? I'm asking you, like
See, according to me, spirituality is there in all the religions. The paths are different, that's it, isn't it? So, religion is what? Kind of a medium for you to know about the spirituality.
yes, ma'am, but like you don't need to follow any religion. It's just another medium. Like, don't they say there are like
If you are
so many?
so capable to directly gain the knowledge about spirituality without taking the help of any religion, then that's fine. Yes, you can go directly.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, but we are the common people, na? So therefore, what we take the help of the religions, the texts, the scriptures which are there in the religion to understand about spirituality.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. So shall we wind up here? See you in the coming class.
Ma'am, what is the program, ma'am, today?
Yeah, the program is the felicitation of some students.
Oh, we
Uh,
don't need to join it.
Actually, sir has insisted, vice principal has insisted to join all of you.
Okay.
There was some team who participated in hacking contest. I'll just
Oh,
share
okay.
that meeting link here in the chat box so that you can join.
Okay.
Yeah,
So till what time would it be, ma'am?
it's a half an hour session,
Okay, ma'am.
10 to 10:30. So
Okay,
I've
ma'am.
posted the link here. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay then.
What's
See
it
you
about?
all in the coming class. Yeah. Thank you very much. Take
Thank
care.
you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.